Good afternoon, everyone, coaches, athletes, and family members. Well, Happy New Year once again. Welcome to Sports Somo Talk. Today is all about sports. My name is Susan Schaefer. I'll be your host. I'm the Outreach and Training for Life Campus Director. Today we have some guests with us. It's exciting to be back and talking about Special Olympics. And today we have Tim Schuster, Director of Sports and Training, and Trish Luce, Vice President of Programs. Welcome, Tim and Trish today. And we got some guests on with us too. We got some athletes in here with us. And we're just going to talk today about some stuff that's going to take place in 2021. And first, we're going to talk with Trish about our return to play. And we got lots of exciting. And I know that as a program staff, we're ready to get started. And if you'll tell us a little bit about what we're going to be doing in 2021 and getting back to play. Trish.
All right, thanks, Shay. I guess I should say Susan, since we need to be a professional here. Well, we are still working on formulating what we're going to do in 2021. We've just got a few more hoops to jump through, but we plan to be getting back into play and to practice, and then hopefully we'll be kicking things off with our spring games in April at the area level. What I'd really like to do is remind everybody about our COVID protocols and where you can find those. And you can look, you can see them and find everything you need to know about COVID and our protocols at somo.org/return to play. There are some things that really need to happen before you ever start practicing, and that is everyone needs to sign a COVID release form. It's a JOT form. It's done online, so you can find the link there at that website. Then coaches, there is a training that you do need to go through. And again, at that website, you can find that information. Plus, we've sent information out to the coaches through coaches' newsletters and e-greetings. So you should be able to find it, or your area program staff can help you with that. Those two things must be done before you can begin practice. Because that training is going to talk to you about the protocols and what you need to do at practice as far as social distancing and masking and making sure that you have hand sanitizing stations and cleaning equipment. So all of that stuff is in that training and on the website. And I really strongly encourage that anybody who's going to be working with our athletes go through that training and check that out and make sure that they understand all of the protocols in order to keep our athletes and all our participants safe.
Trish, as we begin 2021, I know a lot of people ask that we are ready to get back, and we are, and our athletes are truly ready to get back and soon, and we'll look about those dates, and everybody can hopefully start practice or can start practice soon. Is there a target date maybe that we're looking at to be able to do that?
We hope to be able to make an announcement next week in regards to that. So be looking, checking your email, checking our social media platforms. I would say at least by next Friday, we would have an announcement on the plan to get back to practice and back to competitions.
And I know that
we do not have any competitions scheduled right now until we've got an invitational scheduled at TLC for pickleball, which Tim will talk about. So that's really the only thing we have in the first quarter that's scheduled as far as competitions.
It's always great news to know that we're behind the scenes making sure that our athletes are truly being safe, and coaches and everybody that comes out to practice. And it just truly is a reminder, wear your mask. That's a big important thing, and wash your hands. And athletes and coaches, that's a big part of the getting back to play, is following our guidelines. And as long as we can follow our guidelines, Trish, it's truly, we can begin to do more competitions. And I think that's the focus.
Right, exactly. And it's not just our guidelines, but it's your local guidelines. And the showmestrong.org website does have a whole dashboard and all kinds of information that you can drill down by county and see what your county guidelines are, to see where your positivity rate is. It's a really good resource, and I highly encourage coaches to really check that out when we get back to play, which we are going to get back to play. But just know, just like with everything else in this COVID world, we're going to continue to monitor it. We're going to look at it. We're going to evaluate it. And at any time we could say, okay, everybody, no more practice. Like or no more competitions like we did at the end of the year in 2020.
And
So I know everybody's used to that now. That's just our world. So
it really truly is. And I know there's been some great meetings going on behind the scenes to make sure that we can move forward in 2021 and get back to what we all love to be doing and being a part of our Special Olympic athletes' life and playing sports. And we talked about in the fall, it's more than sports. So we want to be able to open the doors and get back to all the stuff we're doing and everything. Um, on Facebook, athletes, coaches, and family members, our public relation staff is going to share those links that you can go to see where all of the training and the paper forms that you need. And if you think you filled it out, can't remember, call your local area program staff and we'll get you checked out to make sure you got all of your training. That's with you, even coaches. Be more than glad to follow up with your area program staff and we can print you out reports that says you would to do that. Trish, thanks for being on. You can hang out with us. We're going to talk some more sports.
well, of course I want to hang out. I mean, Blake and Morgan are here.
Right. And we may have some questions along the way that people shoot out about what's happening in the return to play profile. Welcome, Tim Schuster, our sports and training director. Welcome back. And we're here to start 2020, 21. And tell us what's new. I know you have some new and exciting news to bring forth to our athletes and families and coaches. So,
well, Juan, first off, thanks for having me on, Susan. I appreciate it. I'm excited to be on here. I want to say hi to Morgan and Blake. Good to be on here with you guys. Good to actually see some athletes and get to interact with you guys. New, I want to start with, in case anyone hasn't noticed, one, I'm having a very good hair day. So I'm really liking how the hair is working out today. And also I want to point out that I've noticed being via Zoom that I have a lot of gray in my goatee. So old age is beginning to set in. I'm about as gray as the hair on top of your head.
hey, you're getting to be a little bit like Gary Breimer was when he had that job.
Yeah, I know. I think it's part of the it just happens. It just morphs. I age more and I get more gray, but I'm having a good hair day. So this is all good. No, I'm excited. I'm excited to, like Trish has talked about a little bit briefly, to get us back going in 21. We kind of kickstarted things at the end of 20 with outdoor and I want to point out, we're probably one of the only states programs that did an in-person state event. So I'm excited to say we got that. We did it. We got it under our belt. We showed that we could do this. And, hopefully as we move forward, we can show you parents and athletes that with our protocols in place and stuff, you can get back and return to play with us. And we'll do our best to keep everybody safe. Having said that, what's new in 21? Well, first and foremost, we're kicking off. Hopefully you guys all have gotten the notice, but if you haven't, feel free to reach out to me here in my office here. We've embraced the esports world. And what that, basically what that is, guys, for all of us that sat at home and played video games all this year, is esports is slowly but surely kind of sweeping the world in popularity. And we've decided to open that up to our athletes. We're going to start January 23rd will be the first game day of play for our 8-week Fortnite and Madden 21 leagues. It's an 8-week league where the first 4 weeks will be like preliminary action. And then we will basically division you just like you would in any other Special Olympics event. And, the next 4 weeks will be tournament play. And we're going to culminate that with a grand finale here at the TLC campus in March, where we're going to put you all up on the big screen, stream it out on the internet. And, we're really excited to kind of jump in the esports world, dip our toe in it a little bit and see what happens. And a lot of that wouldn't be able to happen without some new partners over at Kansas City Esports, who, they're really the driving force behind it. They've been great to work with, and we couldn't be more excited to be working with them.
Hey, Tim, it's a great way to get our athletes back involved, even though we may not be able to get out on the playing field for the next few weeks. They can actually be gaming. And I think we have a lot of strong athletes that can maybe know more about it than I do. And we've chit-chatted here at the office about gaming that we're not even in that world. We don't even know what the control buttons mean anymore. We're more about Mario.
I'm still stuck with an Atari. So, no, we're excited, and like I said, it's growing more and more in popularity. Colleges and universities have taken up gaming teams. We've named Dylan Mayfield our gaming commissioner because, quite honestly, he's the only person young enough in the sports department to even know what anyone's talking about. So we're excited to have Dylan's expertise as commissioner of the esports world. And like I said, it's like you said, and it's a point away for the athletes to interact with each other. And we hope you guys, take part, sign up in it. And we can do something. We can continue to do some esports until we can get back outside.
So Tim, is it just Missouri getting involved in the e-gaming world, or is it Special Olympics worldwide, or do you know any of the details that maybe this is going to take off and be more than just at Missouri level?
Well, right now there's several states that are doing, their own esports, and Special Olympics is kind of taken that, and internationally have taken and kind of put together a task force. So there's not a lot of, everybody's kind of doing their own thing statewide, that are doing the esports. So, we're working together with Special Olympics International to get kind of a general baseline of rules, a universal set of rules, like with other sports that we can do. But like I said, we're excited. I mean, it's something new, something different, and it should be, it's open to all levels of ages and competition. And like I said, if right now we're just our particular leagues dealing with athletes in Missouri, and we'll kick it off here in a couple of weeks in January.
So Tim, is there any cost or anything to it, or is it just basically you got Xbox, or you got a certain kind of box you can play all those games? Because I really truly don't know any of that stuff.
I know enough to speak dangerous. Now, first off, there's no cost to the athletes. League participation is completely free, and again, that was due to the graciousness of Kansas City Esports to help kind of head this thing up for us, and kind of be our group to like you said, we're kind of old and we don't know exactly what we're doing. With the Madden, again, I'm going to speak enough to be dangerous here. With the Madden League, we exclusively did it with Xbox. We had sent out a survey before the end of the year. And because the game Madden apparently only works when you play Madden on Xbox, you can only play people in Madden Online, do the streaming game stuff with other Xbox. So we limited that to the Madden to the Xbox side of the world. And but the Fortnite, which is really big, and I have 3 kids, and I've tried to play it on my phone. That it's kind of exciting. But Fortnite, PlayStation, Xbox, any kind of gaming system, you can log into our league and play with. So it's truly a universal game, as opposed to with Madden just being on the Xbox side of things for now. And guys, don't think that we're just going to exclusively, if you have a PlayStation, don't think that we're exclusively going to do Madden on the Xbox. If we find, we might kick back after this 8-week league's going, gets done, and say, all right, let's flip around and do a PlayStation Madden league. It's a working, moving vehicle that we're dealing with here. And, we just wanted to dip our toe in it, do the 8 weeks, and, see what we like, what we can improve on, and go from there.
Cool. It sounds exciting. So athletes, coaches, unified partners, get involved. It's a new way to reach out and visit and talk with other athletes. I know you're missing your friends from maybe across the state, and here's a chance to get involved and sit back and relax and enjoy some gaming. So cool. Hey Tim, what about our schedule for the new year? I think there's been some changes coming across with what's happening.
Well, yeah. Before I hate to talk schedules because of our new normal with COVID things, but we did put together a competition schedule and we put it out, but just wanted to go over it a little bit. We're like Trish had kind of touched base on, or with the Pickleball Invitational in March. Again, that's moving and floating as to whether or not, we can get things up and running by then, but we'll let you know by next week. But yeah, pickleball is a new sport that we're diving into. Similar to tennis. I was a former tennis player. I love playing pickleball. We've had pickleball tournaments here in the office. And then I hope we'll be back up and running with normal stuff, spring games. in April. We've done some schedule changes, guys. We've tried to kind of state summer games will be in the same time. It's going to be June 5th in Columbia. But as you can tell, like we've backloaded the schedule a lot with what we would call our winter sports, bowling and basketball, since we had to shut down for the end of 2020. We moved those to the fall, and actually with basketball, the state tournament would take place in January of 22. But for the most part, we're hoping to stay on track normal with summer games in June. We've got outdoor games back here in Jeff City. Still going to do the 2 weekends, September 25th and October 2nd. Like I touched on, bowling moved to December. We're going to be back in St. Charles where this all began. We were about 2 weeks out from state bowling and basketball tournament before we had to shut down last March. But December 4th, bowling will be a standalone event. We're going to do strictly bowling and work it as a one-day event. And
so Tim, when you talk about a one-day event, is that do we get to see a lot of the same things? And can you any overnights, or how does that all work? Since we're old school and we're making some changes, and then what you said, the new norm. What takes place in that?
Yeah, well, especially with the state events, guys. If you took part in outdoor, you knew it was a one-day event. We didn't do any overnights. We took the opening ceremonies to each individual location. I think you're going to see a lot of that in 21. That model continue. Our plan right now is to stick with the one-day events. Again, we're going to try to limit the large groups, and until COVID is under control, we're going to try to limit the large groups of gatherings in one central place. So, you're not going to see the one big opening ceremonies like you're used to, but at the same time, we're going to do each thing at each individual venue for each participating sports when it comes to those one-day events. And we're trying to keep them all as centrally located as we can to make travel for everybody, to make it accessible for everybody.
And Tim, I think it's the most important thing that, we have our meetings and we gather, and the biggest thing is we just want to get back. And I think that's part of the thing that our athletes, they want to get back into to just playing sports and getting to see their friends. And I think that's important, and be excited to be able to do that. Since we're going to a one-day event type of flow, is in the past we had some assessment fees, with that. Is there any, Trish, Tim, is there any of that going to take place, or we still have that on the back burner as we move forward because of all the change? Or
Yeah, Susan, I can answer that question. So we will have assessment fees, but it will just be at the $30 per person, since it's a day event and there's no housing. So that is the plan of action.
Well, cool. I'm just glad that we're able to get back into what we're doing and some exciting things, and to be looking forward to spring games. I think that's what it sounds like, us getting back to practice and to hosting our summer games events. And I know that we can distance in our sporting world, and we've talked about some virtual. If everybody can't get back, we're gonna I think look about some virtual stuff. So those who still are not quite ready to get back to being in person, we'll be able to do some virtual. And all of our stuff, when you look at, will be on Facebook. Make sure you're checked into that, and be area program staff is where you can get your updated information too. But one of the questions we had, Trish, is a little bit for you. It's in the COVID form, and they said, if you're a multi-sport player, do you have to fill out the COVID form more than once?
You do not. It's the COVID form. Once you fill it out, you're done. You do not have to fill it out again. I say that, and then unless something happens, like unless Special Olympics International comes down and says we need to change the form, then we may have to go through that. But as of right now, just sign it once. You're good.
No, unless it gets stuck under a file in my office, it should be in the database system, and we have it. So you filled it out in 2020. We still have it. It's on file, and like I said earlier, you can check with your area program staff, and they can get you some things. So Tim and Trish, I really do appreciate you. We're just talking sports and what's new in 21, and it's great to be able to kick off our sports world and our season to get back to play. And appreciate you guys being on today with our I call it sport talk, but I think it's going to come out being SOMO talk, because we're going to talk about everything that's with sports. And we're more than sports now with Special Olympics, with our Alps programs and all the other stuff that we do. And so I think we'll end up being more about SOMO talk than sports talk, but we'll have you on throughout the year talking about what's new and moving forward as we get closer to summer games. We'll see how we're doing that and keep moving. Every month, it's a new first Thursday of the month, we'll have SOMO talk, and it's really about what's going on. So reach out if you want to find us, get a topic, we'll talk about it, what's within Special Olympics. So thanks for being on today, everybody. See you next month in February with SOMO talk.
All right. Thanks, Susan.
Thanks for having us on.